Okay, so slight delay in Frieren Friday. I apologize. I was really tired yesterday, but I do want to talk about the rest of the manga because unless a new chapter dropped in the last couple days, which isn't impossible. Excuse me. The last one I read was 127, so as far as I am aware, I am caught up on the series. So finishing up the El Dorado arc, there's this pretty short fight between Moct and Serie where Serie has this she has this spell on that just reflects all curses, which specifically affects the gold. So she can't. Not only is she not being transmuted, it reflects it back onto Moct, who instantly dispels it from himself. So it doesn't really work offensively, but it works very well defensively. And you find out later that is specifically the spell that Denkin got from Serie when he passed the exam and became a first class mage. And there's this really interesting bit where Serie talks about, it's like, oh yeah, like it took me 100 years to learn this spell. And then she, for all intents and purposes, removes the spell from her memory, transmogrifies it into a grimoire, gives it to Denkin, and says, but if you learn it from the book, if you learn it from this grimoire, you can learn a lot quicker than I did. And I think it was either Denkin or the OG first class mage. I'm not going to remember his name. I'm sorry. Is like, oh, but master, like, if you give that to him, you lose your ability to use it. Yeah, I can learn it again. It'll just take 100 years. That's nothing to me. You earned it. You want it? Go have fun with it. So, we have this scene between Moct and this other demon he visited earlier named Solitaire. I think it's like Solitar, and what it was like the I or the A had like some dots above it. I look at her name and I go Solitaire. Cool. So I'm probably just gonna be calling her that, although I might call her like Solitaire, blah blah blah. He talked to her earlier because she is also like I think they refer to her as like a demon librarian. She is someone who is very interested in humanity, not interested in coexistence, but is someone who studies human beings. And she talks to Moct, and she tells him that, I think your dream for coexistence is going to end in failure. I don't think it's going to work out at all. And I'm gonna be honest, I want to see the bad ending. I want to see it crumble to pieces because, I'm a demon and it is what it is. They also, not in that scene, it's a little bit later, they talk about how Moct is one of 2 demons to have ever wanted coexistence, the other being the Demon King, and I was like, that's actually kind of interesting. She talks about how, it's like, yeah, the Demon King wanted coexistence too. Look how that ended up. The fucking elves got almost damn near extinct. Coexistence isn't gonna work, dude. By the way, we still haven't seen the Demon King. I don't know what he looks like. And the more I see other demons, the more I think, like, one of my favorite aspects of Avatar: The Last Airbender is for the first 2 seasons, you never see the Fire Lord's face. He's just, like, seems to be this big, imposing figure. He's always surrounded by flames. And when you finally see Ozai, he's just a dude. Like, he does not, I mean, like, when he's fighting Aang, he's, like, got his shirt off, like, the dude is ripped and everything, but when you finally meet him, he does not look that imposing. He does not look that scary. And to me, it's part of what makes Ozai so memorable. I'm starting to think the Demon King is going to be something very similar. Like, when you finally see him, he's not going to be this massive dude. I mean, he might have, like, a nice set of armor or something. I think he's not going to look that imposing. And to me, that's just kind of interesting. But regardless, Solitaire says, look, I want to see you fail. I'm not going to actively fuck with you. I want to help. But this is why I'm here. And there's another point later where she's kind of saying to herself, like, yeah, like, the reason I was here was I was going to kill him. But it seems like he understands coexistence isn't possible. Let me kill these people. Let me kill Frieren and shit. She's like, okay, you're where you need to be. I will help you with this. So, Frieren is asleep. She is still trying to analyze all of Moct's memories, so she is not in the early part of the fight. Denkin is fighting Moct, and because he has Serie's, like, curse reflection cloak on. Again, it's more like an aura. It's not like an actual cloak. Mach can't turn him to gold. Solitaire then goes to fight Fern and Stark, and she's like, "Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm the great demon Solitaire." And Fern just remembers a conversation with Frieren, or Frieren's like, "Okay, here's the great demons you need to know. Boom, 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 boom. If you ever meet a great demon and you don't recognize the name, it's not someone I told you about, fucking run." Because the reason we know about these other great demons is because people have escaped. People have survived. If you don't know anything about them, it means they have killed everyone who has ever run into them. They're a problem. So Solitaire's magic is she just summons a bunch of swords and will like just throw them at people, and I'm just going like, oh, she has unlimited blade works. She has the gate of Babylon. This makes me so happy. Like I mean, yeah, I read Fate Stay Night last year, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. So just seeing that shit was really great. She's like, "Look, I don't want to fight. I just want to talk, and I want to get to know the two of you. Like, you're the ones that work with Frieren. That's so interesting. Tell me about her." And they're like, "No, you're a demon. We're gonna fight." I mean, I'd rather not, but if you insist, I could take your arms. You don't need your arms or legs to be able to talk. I can take those. They're not really essential parts of you, right? So their fight goes on for a little bit, and Mach's his golden aura gets a lot stronger. He ends up turning Fern and Stark into gold, and Solitaire's like, "Oh, well, that was fun while it lasted. Let me go hang out with him for a bit." And Frieren also turns to gold. I think I said Stonewall a second ago. That's not true. They turn to gold. Frieren turns to gold because she's asleep. And Duncan is unaffected by it. But he also talks about how it takes so much mana to be able to keep this spell up. This is a war of attrition. I am against a Sage of Destruction, so I'm probably going to lose a war of attrition anyways. The fact that I also have to keep this constantly up is not helping. And Solitaire shows up, throws some fucking swords at him. He's like, "I have to dispel this to take care of this." So he also, if I remember correctly, I believe he also turned to gold. Then Frieren is able to wake up and dispel the magic because from seeing it in all of Mach's memories, she understands how it works. So she is able to free herself. If I'm remembering it right, it was either Duncan didn't get turned to gold or she goes ungolds Duncan. So Duncan is left to fight Mach, and then Frieren and Solitaire kind of go somewhere else to have their fight. Because there are two separate fights going on in like two separate locations. Duncan and Mach, I remember reading it, I was like, this looks just really cool. It's, both of them are doing a whole bunch of cool shit, and again, Duncan's saying to himself, he's like, okay, this is a war of attrition. It's like, I can tell that my master is now starting to take me more seriously. That's good, but boy, that's fucking bad, because he's doing a lot of crazy shit. He's using a lot of really powerful spells. I need an opportunity. I need an opportunity to just, hit him once with Zoltark and just put everything I fucking have into it. And, every now and then he gotta get an opportunity. It's like, this isn't the opportunity, but I'm gonna get some damage in. But I need to wait for that moment. So you got Solitaire and Frieren, which was an amazing fight to read. I really, really liked it. As far as everything I've read in the manga, because everything that was shown in the anime, I haven't read those sections. This was my favorite fight in the manga thus far. I can't wait to see it animated. I don't know if it'll look better than Frieren versus Frieren or the fight with Fern, Stark, and I don't remember their names, but Aura's Droogs, Lugnir and I don't remember the girl, but the one who was like, I have an axe and I'm gonna turn the axe into like a knife and shit. That looked so good. It was so cool. I loved it. I'm like, I can't wait to see this shit animated. It was cool. Frieren's blasting the shit out of her, but Solitar's also really fast with her defensive magic, and there's times where she's getting blasted and just no damage is happening, and then Frieren actually gets a good hit in, and Solitar's like, hey, if you aim that a little bit lower, I might not be talking right now. That's pretty fucking bad for me. She tells her, like, yeah, I killed Stark and Fern, your friends are dead, and you could just see Frieren just like, you're dead. Like, you're already dead. I'm Frieren the Slayer. Fuck you, but okay, now it's personal. They talk about how, Solitaire just wants to talk. Like, you're a demon. I don't care for your words. Frieren, the fact that you were so willing to kill me and my people with no concern for our words or our feelings. Which of us is the real monster here? Like, I know, like, what I am. You're pretty fucked up, too. Like, can we acknowledge that for a second? The fight goes. There is a part during their duel where Frieren, who, while they've been fighting, has also been trying to just analyze the barrier. Oh, that's right, because Solitaire was there, and it took her about 2 months to dispel the barrier around El Dorado, and once that was gone, Mokta was able to leave, and that's what made the gold spread a lot quicker. Frieren is also spending that same amount of time analyzing the memories. So during the fight, Frieren is basically able to devise like a super big counter and just kind of unfreezes all the gold. And once that happens, Mocked, it's not like he freaks out, but it's just kind of this, she destroyed all my gold. Fuck, that's maybe a problem. And that's the opportunity. And Denkin just fucking quick draws him and has this big fucking hole in Mock's chest. Oh. Well, shit. Looks like you got me. And then she does that, and Solitaire's like, holy shit. You were doing this the entire time we were fighting? Huh. That kind of means you maybe weren't fighting me at full strength, and that makes me maybe a little scared of what's about to happen. Wait a second, if you just undid all the cold, that means your 2 party members are... And then Fern just fucking blasts her. So Fern doesn't kill her, but does a lot of damage, and as she lays dying, Frieren finishes her off. We go back to El Dorado, which isn't really El Dorado anymore. I don't remember what the town was actually called. It was like Weiss or some shit. Like W-I-E. I think it was W-E-I-S-E. That sounds about right. But Mocked is there dying. And he just kind of chills. He's like, he doesn't try to turn anyone else to gold. He doesn't try to fuck with Denkin. He's kind of like, all right, let me go, I guess. So he just starts walking. And he runs into his old pal Gluck. And he sits down beside Gluck, and Gluck's like, hey, man, you want to smoke? So they sit there, they enjoy a cigarette, talk about how they're both horrible fucking people, that Mock never truly understood guilt or malice. And then Denkin finds the 2 of them. And Mock just looks at Denkin. Hey, Denkin, I have a hostage now, by the way. If you do anything to me, I'll fucking kill him. And Gluck takes a look at him, and he's like, he's too far gone, and Denkin, do what you gotta do. Then Denkin finishes him off. And what I really like about that scene is, like, I genuinely don't think Mocked was taking him hostage. I mean, it's not like he grabs the dude or casts a spell. It really comes across as just, dude, I've already lost. Let me just enjoy these last few moments in peace. I've got a hostage. Don't do anything. To me, really translated as, can I just finish this cigarette with my boy real quick? After that, I'm probably already dead, or just do what you gotta do. So, that's basically how El Dorado ends. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it's my favorite arc. I really liked Mocked and Solitaire. I liked them a lot. I thought the fights were great. I thought like the bits of Denkin's backstory that we're getting, I think were really cool. I just really liked the ending. Like again, like the ending fights were really good, but just that ending for Mocked. It's one of my favorite moments in Frieren. Like it did a lot for me. I just want to see, was there anything else I really wanted to say about El Dorado? I don't think so. I think the only other thing is like before they leave the town, Frieren gets another Shadow Dragon horn. I just thought that was kind of neat. So the next thing, this isn't an arc. This is just, as I put it in my notes, just random bullshit. Like here's just some of the fun little adventures, and one of them happens a little bit later in between another arc. But I just like here's all the random bullshit. You get another Stark's birthday, so that happens quite a bit later, where they go into a new town and Fern gets him a present. It's specifically like a new pair of gloves, and she just really wants to give them to him, but she can't find a moment because Stark is just busy hanging out with people. Because, again, that's something I love, is everyone loves Stark. You know, he gets some shit from Fern, he gets some shit from Frieren, but whenever they go to a new town, the townsfolk just adore him, and Fern's like, I'm not mad at you because people like you. I just wish I had a fucking chance to interact with you and give you your present. And then Frieren made them hamburger steaks. And there's kind of like a little meme chapter about Frieren trying to make the hamburger steaks, which was really adorable and a lot of fun. There was this... Oh, I got a text from something. I'll figure out more about that a little bit. There's this one chapter with this golem homunculi who's... Oh, because they cross from the Northern Plateau into, like, the Empire. So I guess that's, like, the most northern country, or it's maybe the... I think the Demon King's territory is, like, the most northern. But I guess it goes there, the Empire, the Northern Plateau, and then, like, the southern lands where most of the story is taking place up to this point. Excuse me. There's this, like, old golem homunculi that was fucking up people's fields because it was looking for ingredients to cook, and like, it was just kind of sweet and fun, I guess. My favorite was this dragon, and the dragon was so big that it had this whole ass ecosystem on its back with all these like super unique plants, and I mean probably some animals in there too, because like, hey, there's this unique seed and we don't know where it comes from, but it comes from the sky. Can you find out what it is? And then there's this fucking dragon with all this shit going up on its back. I'm like, huh. See the wyvern of enormous girth. On its scales it holds the earth. See that turtle. Ain't he keen? All things surf that fucking beam. And I just thought it was super neat. Your next major arc is Frieren and Co. are observing, I believe they call it a goddess monument. And Frieren's like, yeah, no one's ever really been able to study one of these and fully decipher the monument and the goddess magic. I kind of want to do that. And then she's doing it, and then she time travels. It is present Frieren's consciousness travels 80 plus years back in time into her body when she's with her old party. So it's current Frieren with Eisen, Hyder, and Himmel. And she's like, okay, I can't really tell them anything because I don't want to affect the past. I don't want to show off any modern magic, like the fact that I can fucking fly, because that might throw some shit off. And they end up fighting this one demon with spatial teleportation. He touches Frieren, he teleports her in the air, so she starts free falling. She's like, the fact that I have to pretend that this is a problem is what's making this a problem. But, they fucking kill the dude, and it's not really trouble. And they're like, all right, Frieren, if you're holding back, don't. We trust you. If we trust that there's a good reason for it. And eventually she's like, yeah, like, I'm from the future, blah, blah, blah. I can't tell you guys shit, but, I'm still alive. Make of that what you will, So they spend some time trying to figure out how to get Frieren back. They go to these different, like, monasteries and castles, like, with tomes, see if they can learn something. They fight like a dragon at one point. They talk about how Heiter and Himmel grew up together. They've known each other since forever. Heiter didn't believe that Himmel could become... He didn't think that Himmel was him. He didn't think that Himmel would, like, grow up to be this great, big, powerful hero and whatnot. And Himmel's like, yeah, I mean this in the best possible way. A lot of my success is fueled on spite and just wanting to prove my best friend wrong. And I thought that was fun. I thought that was super neat. They're able to get Frieren back. They also end up fighting a bunch of demons. So there's this gaggle of great demons. One of them is my girl Solitaire, so it was just nice to see her again. There was this one demon who's just like a big unga bunga dude who's like, I'm basically a general in terms of human terms. Fight me! You know, like, I kind of like this dude. There's this other one, I don't remember what their shtick was, but they're also like, I'm just not gonna get involved in whatever this is. I'll show up in another arc. And this other demon who was a mentalist. Like, they basically specialize in genjutsus. So, Aizen fights the big Unga Bunga dude, and the other three get caught in a genjutsu. But Heiter, because he's a priest, is immune to it, so it's just Himmel and Frieren. And it's a wedding, because of course it is. And Himmel is like, oh, this is the thing like I want most. And it's Frieren in a wedding dress, and she's like, this is certainly something. And Heiter is talking to them and trying to get them out of it. So Himmel, while in the genjutsu and like just sees the wedding, feels the sword in his hands, because Frieren, even from the genjutsu, is able to be like put the sword in his hands. He's just fighting, like he can't see or hear the demon. He's just kind of kicking his ass anyways. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck? It's not even like, oh yeah, you know, I know this is fake and I'm able to bust out of it and then kick his ass. Like, no, he's still trapped in it. He's just him. Okay. Sure. Fucking sure. So, like, they beat the demons. I think they killed the mentalist dude. I might be misremembering that. But, they escape. Frieren goes back to the present. That was that arc. I thought it was fine. I really did. I mean, yeah, being able to see these characters is nice, but I basically see them like once an episode anyways. I don't know. It was like this. I just thought it was okay. It really did not hit me as much as something like El Dorado did, or even some of the smaller moments when we, like with Himmel and his party. My favorite moment with Himmel is when he gives Frieren the ring. No question. And yeah, it's like the wedding bit was really nice. I liked that a lot, but all in all, I thought that arc was okay. Then we get to our next major arc, which is the current arc, which seems like it's only kind of just started. So, the Empire has it out for Frieren and Setie. I don't know if that's because they have it out for elves, or if they just have it out for really powerful mages. They had this list of names. Shout out Arya Stark. Shout out new Taylor Swift. I don't know. I was like in a ramen place like a week or so ago, and they were playing that song. They're like, Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. And I remember, like, the first time I heard that song, A, I was like, what the fuck is this? And two, I was like, this makes me think of Arya Stark. I don't know, that's kind of neat, I guess. But anyways, point. There are, I think they call them Shadow Warriors, which are just assassins. A group of assassins was given this list of names. Like, you have no deadline for this. It's just when you meet someone on this list, you fucking kill them. The last name on the list was Frieren. They moved to a village. I think it was kind of like on the border between the Northern Plateau and the Empire. And yeah, whenever they met someone on the list, they took care of them, but they just kind of lived their lives. I don't know, like, it was a chapter I just really liked. It's like, okay, like, we are undercover. You know, it's like, I'm the dad, you're the son, you're my other son, blah, blah, blah. We go until the mission is done, but they spent so much time undercover, and as part of the mission, it's like, hey, do I have permission to marry this girl because I really want to? It's like, do I have permission to leave the village and live my life. It was really interesting to me. And the last dude is now super old. Everyone else in that group is dead. But there's Frieren. So he tries to kill her. And he kind of almost does. Which is something I really liked. And it's something they talk about in the next chapter as well. Where, yeah, Frieren and Seti are two of the most fucking powerful people on the planet. They are not invincible. In a magic duel, you're not beating them. Frieren even says, though, she's like, Fern, me and Seti are damn near untouchable to another mage. We are still very vulnerable to a warrior. Like, Fern, if Stark wanted to kill the two of us, he could do it. I would be shocked if he tried, but if he did try, I'd be shocked if he didn't kill us both. And Stark's like, why are you talking like that? I want to be the bad guy, even hypothetical. Which, whatever. But, I don't know, I love that kind of shit. You're like, yeah, a mage can do incredibly stupid shit. They're the squishy wizard for a reason. I love shit like that. But they talk about how there's going to be, like, this big ball in the Empire, to celebrate the Northern Lands, and, like, I guess El Dorado getting fucked up, so let's all come together and discuss, and there's a plot for the Shadow Warriors to kill Seti. So we gotta have an entourage of, like, defenders and go to the ball and shit, and specifically, Yubel and Land get called up. So Yubel goes to visit Land, like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And he's like, I'm just gonna leave. I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't want her to try to fucking kill me. I'm not here to kill you. We've got a job to do. So, the two of them get all dressed up, have to infiltrate a party so they can steal some important documents. Like, we're doing a fucking heist. I love heists. I get to see Yubel in a nice dress doing a heist. This arc's great. And, like, that was the last chapter. But I was like, this is kind of neat. That's where we're at. That's the Frieren update. Like I said, I think El Dorado's phenomenal. I think the random bullshit was pretty good. I liked it quite a bit, actually. I think the current arc so far feels like it might be pretty interesting. And I've liked the individual chapters in it so far. The Frieren goes back to the past to hang out with Himmel and them. There's a scene in there I really liked, and I was just really happy to see Solitaire again. But overall, I was like, this was okay. I don't know, like, the idea of Frieren as she is now interacting with her party, like, that sounds amazing. For whatever reason, it just didn't really do it for me, though. But as the manga right now, I am now caught up. I'm very happy to be caught up. So, this is, I guess, the last Frieren Friday. Because I also don't know how often it updates. If it's supposed to be weekly, if it's supposed to be monthly. But, I don't know. Maybe every now and then I'll be like, let me read a few chapters and see what's going on. And when I do, I'll make a video about it.